Hi, I'm Tom Green, and in case you haven't been paying attention, there's UFOs that are being shot down over North America. Both Canada and the United States have had UFOs flying over them, and apparently they are aliens. This is my opinion. See, why wouldn't they be aliens, right? We're just noticing them now because our radar is better and we're actually seeing them for the first time. They've probably been flying around for years. I think they're probes, actually. They're probes. They are here studying us, probably unmanned. And although at Roswell, they did shoot down some probes with aliens in them. So that's what's going on. Okay, good morning, everybody.
What are you doing here now? How? Okay, so how about we concentrate on your time? Try me. Wait, so you know the meaning of life? What's the difference?
Mistake in the relationship between humans and these other civilizations. And here I want to put a button on this. When we detonated the first atomic bomb and the subsequent ones, when those go off, everybody knows what an electromagnetic pulse is. What they don't know is that there's an attending so-called scalar or longitudinal wave that is faster than the speed of light that disrupts the fabric and communication and propulsion guidance systems of extraterrestrial vehicles. This is why they came in huge force in the 40s and 50s. And this is why every single atomic and nuclear weapon storage facility, processing plant and base and ship has been surveilled by these ET vehicles, because when those things are used, it's like tearing the fabric of space-time. Huge.
What the fuck going on in Miami, bro? No! This shit just disappeared.
At a routine traffic stop, this dash camera footage captured something strange. We see the officer talking to the driver of the car when suddenly a large glow of light surrounds him. The light only engulfs him and then he suddenly vanishes, leaving a cloud of smoke and dust behind. The driver of the car starts to panic and delays for a minute before they speed off in terror. Many say this was an extraterrestrial event caught on camera. What do you think?
hay en el mundo. Sí, con ejército Hold on, I'll call you back. Hey, mi hijo, pero por favor, te debes grabar, pero no mis conversaciones telefónicas. Un poco más de respeto.
Well, it turns out that scientists now claim to have created element 115 by atomic collisions.
I think this recent discovery of ununpentium really does help us understand the significance of Bob Lazar's testimony. This was a man who was exposed to a very rare element that was allegedly part of the propulsion system of an extraterrestrial vehicle.
Apparently, UFOs are getting shot down left and right. That's a missile which hits the UFO, and the UFO has burst into flames. If you look closely, you could kind of see the shape of the UFO, and if you close your eyes, you see absolutely nothing. So it's best to keep them open. But don't forget to blink. Also, don't forget not to blink. Blinking kind of happens automatically.
That UFO! Someone take a picture of it! What? Take a picture of it, hurry! I am so freaked out. This is like the movie, you know. What is that? What is that? What is that?
Everybody go back to your room.
What is that?
To accelerate and decelerate, it just seemed to zip so quickly that it was, again, really disorienting, really confusing for us.
David said it was the WTF moment.
Yeah, oh, there were definitely some WTFs on the radio. Not in a scared way, but like, what the is that? Like we're seeing something for the first time.
You know, some people go, what is that? And they run, and then some people see it, what is that? And they're curious. They want to get closer and closer. I wanted to get closer, see what it was.
My lead, Commander David Fravor, he says I'm in, which means that he's engaging with this thing.
We're going around, we get to about the 12 o'clock position, and this thing's still pointing north-south. The tic-tac goes and turns and starts coming up. So now it's mirroring me. Whatever it was aware that we were there. And as I come up, I can see him as he's crossing in front of me. It starts to accelerate, gets right on my nose, and disappears. For something to come off the surface of the ocean like it was moving around, to be able to just accelerate to match my speed, and then to rapidly go away, we do not possess that technology.
That's interesting.
Whoa. I've seen this before.
Turkey 2008, aliens inside of UFO.
Woman being abducted.
¡Hostia! ¿Qué es lo que es? Pero esto no es normal, ¿eh? ¿Pero qué coño, qué carajo pasa aquí? ¡Me cago en Diola! ¿Pero qué carajo está pasando aquí? ¡Hostia! ¡Vamos a la hostia! ¡Me cago en Diola! ¡Para la máquina! ¡Para la máquina! ¿Qué carajo pasa aquí?
Non sei, deixa un poquinho que
esto no es normal.
que
Cago en Dios.
conche tu madre. Cuando vuelva la luz, va a volver a explotar. Oye, justo hay una micro ahí, weón.
At this lecture, and there were 300 abductees there. That some who he'd interviewed with, some he had not, but who were there for interested to find out more about their experience. And one guy got up and said he had one arm, and I don't know whether that was related. I don't think it was related to the experience, but he said, "I'm a Wall Street broker. I'm quite well off. I have a sailboat. I was in Long Island Sound a few years ago, and a blue light hit me, and I had missing time of about 5 or 6 hours. But in it, I have filtrated memories of beings addressing me and telling me that I was powerful and influential and I could help the planet survive. And they put me back in my ship, and I woke up, and he said, I'm waiting for them to come back. I want them to come back."
I mean, that's unmistakable. That is a UFO.
above the world famous sapphire. I mean, there is something in the sky. It's red in the middle. There's these two white lights over here. There's some other lights right there. And then it's so weird the way that our lights shine up in the sky actually creates an effect. Oh, it doesn't make that blinking anymore. I mean, that blinking was the craziest part. But there's no blinking anymore. When our lights would shine up there, there was a reflection. I have a little video of that too. I don't know. It's very strange. Light in the sky above the club, now being covered by this cloud that's rolling through. But there's something up there. I mean, I'm here every day. I've never seen anything like this in the sky. I don't think anybody has. I mean, everybody's out here looking up. What the is going on? Everybody trying to figure out what's up there. What's up there?
Inside the reactor, element 115 is bombarded with a proton, which plugs into the nucleus of the 115 atom and becomes element 116, which immediately decays and releases or radiates small amounts of antimatter. The antimatter is released in a vacuum into a tuned tube, which keeps it from reacting with the matter that surrounds it. It is then directed towards a gaseous matter target at the end of the tube. The matter and antimatter collide and annihilate, totally converting to energy. The heat from this reaction is converted into electrical energy in a near 100% efficient thermoelectric generator. This is a device that converts heat directly into electrical energy. This particular...
One of my bellmen approached me, and he kind of had a weird look on his face, and he said to me, can we go in your office and talk? I brought him into my office, and he says, something really weird happened here yesterday, and you weren't here. He said, there's a couple guys in here looking for you. And I said, a couple guys? What do you mean? And he said, well, this is really hard for me to say. He said, but there's a couple really strange-looking men that were here. And they kind of freaked everybody out, and they were asking questions about you. And, of course, now I'm getting a little bit nervous, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And he said, well, they were... He goes, I don't know how to describe them except for extremely odd-looking. They were really, really tall, he said, and they were identical height. They were the exact same height. They were wearing the exact same clothes, and they had the exact same faces, like they were twins. And he said they were wearing black suits, black trench coats. They were wearing like the old-fashioned Federo hat. They had extremely, extremely pale skin. And he said they came in and they looked around a little bit and they asked for you. And I said, I'm sorry, he's actually not working today. And it seemed like they didn't believe me, so they started to walk around the hotel, and shortly after they went to the tour desk, and he goes, I got busy. I started to have to bring cars around and get luggage, and by the time I came back, they were gone. But he goes, they freaked me out, and I really wanted to tell you that there were these weird guys in here looking for you. So, of course, now I'm a little bit skeptical and I'm a little bit freaked out all at the same time. So the first thing I do is I run into my security office, because I know how to work the security system, and I rewound the cameras, and sure enough, here comes two gentlemen through the front door looking exactly how he described. Then the next day, I was talking with my tour guide, and one of them asked to talk to me. She came in my office, the same as my bellman, and she said, I need to tell you about something that happened. I heard that you heard that there were some men looking for you. And I said, yes. And she said, they asked a few questions about you, and they said strange things that I didn't understand. And they were talking about governments and conspiracies, and none of it made any sense to me. But she goes, they were very, very scary. And I said, well, why were they scary? And she said, they had no facial hair, none. She said they had no eyebrows, no eyelashes, nothing. Their hair looked like they had a wig on, like it was attached to their hat, like it wasn't even real. And she said, and the scariest thing, their eyes were so big and so blue that they almost hypnotized me a little bit. And she goes, and you're going to think I'm crazy when I tell you this, but I swear they knew what I was thinking. I swear. And I don't think I'm crazy, but I don't even know how they could do it, and I don't know why I'm even telling you this. She goes, so I started to think about things other than you, and I don't even know if it worked. And she started to cry, and she said one more thing before she left. She said, these men, they didn't blink. Not once did I see them blink.
I'm just like, you guys have no idea. I think an alien spaceship crashed, and they recover live aliens, and we made contact, and the Americans came in. That's what I'm thinking about. So I told a couple people. On the last trip I came back, I was just like, I was so rocked. I couldn't reintegrate back into the culture. It was, Joe, I was just like, fuck, I think this happened. It's the biggest story ever. So people were asking me, even my neighbor who runs he runs that Make-A-Wish Foundation. He was like, James, he goes, bro, I like you a lot and I got a lot of respect for you, but you lost me on this one. And I was like, I don't blame you, bro. I really don't. But listen to the witnesses. Just, that's all I say. And I would tell people, and I realized I can't talk about it. All I can say is just listen to the witnesses. Don't take it from me. But I'm looking at that guy in the eyes, Joe. And I've been at this for 30 years. I'm working on my 7th film right now. I'm looking this guy in the eyes and I'm like, this guy probably drove an alien around. And it tripped me out so hard. And it ruined his life. To get this guy to go on camera, just like a week earlier, he was like, I don't care all the money in the world, I'm never coming forward. The risks are too high.
How did it ruin his life?
Because you're harboring this secret. You're being watched. You're being told not to ever talk about this. And you're looking over your shoulder all the time. And they call you, the military calls you periodically. They want to know where you are. And he's got this secret inside him that he can't tell the rest of the world. And he's thinking about all the everyone's out there speculating, is it real, is it fake, is it real, is it fake? And this guy drove a body around. Just think about that for a second. Think about the doctor who took the x-rays of this thing. Marco Leal, thank you, Marco, you're the man. Marco Leal found him 8 years ago. And he was like, he confirmed the story. He was still working at Regional Hospital. He goes, I'll never come forward. Marco kept going every year back and forth. Then he retired. And 4 years after he retired, he agreed to meet with us. He wasn't even sure he was going to go on. And I said, look, man, we'll film you from the back. We'll disguise your voice. Showed us photographs of him at the hospital. We know we've been trying to get at him. Excuse me, at the end of the interview, he said, thank you. I feel so much better. I've been shouldering that burden for 26 years, and I've so desperately wanted to tell somebody, to share that story with the rest of the world. I mean, these girls came within 8 to 10 feet. Three women, Katya, 2 sisters, Liliani, and Valkyria, 14, 16, and 21. They got within 8 to 10 feet in broad daylight of this creature. And one of the things that doesn't come across in the film when they saw this thing, they're looking like, what are we looking at here? They're walking through this field, and it's up against a cinder block wall. And one of them was looking at it, what is that? And it was crouched by the wall. It was weak and feeble. And one of them kind of like screeched, ah, like, what is that? And it turned, and it looked right at the girls, locked eyes on them. Liliana grabs her younger daughter, her younger sister, who's 14, Valkyria, and hightails it out of there. Katya is 21. She's frozen in her tracks, locked eyes with this creature, and is communicating with her. Please help me. It wants help. It's weak and it's feeble and it's scared, and it's crouched down. Liliana realizes that Katya is back there. She gets, 100 feet down the path. She leaves her sister, stay here, I'm going back to get Katya. She runs back. And I asked Katya, and I asked all the girls, during that moment of contact, when you lock eyes, I know it's only a brief second, but during that moment of contact, what did you feel? Like, put me there. That's where the title comes from, Moment of Contact, because that was when they locked eyes on this creature, and that's when Katya said, help me, I'm scared. And it was feeble and suffering. And it's a very powerful moment. And these girls have been saying the same thing. The mother, it's the first time I'd ever reported on these so-called like men in dark suits that show up and intimidate witnesses. Honestly, I've been hearing about those cases for so many times, but I've avoided them because it's got so much baggage from men in black. It's just ridiculous. I just didn't even want to be associated with it. But I'd heard it. I can go on until I'm blue in the face. I can go until tomorrow morning with the amount of cases, with generals too. But this time, when the mother said that these men showed up and tried to get the daughters to say they were lying and offered her a briefcase full of $100 bills and they could relocate, I don't know, for some reason I said, okay, for the first time in 25 years, I'm going to report on these guys. And I did. And it's in the movie. You can hear the mother talking about it, and she's so emotional. And the mother came back to the location right after it happened. The smell, that stench, and the footprint on the ground. I mean, everybody talks about that stench. That was so... They said, if you ever take like a skunk, multiply that by like 100,000, that would give you some indication of the level of like how putrid and nasty. It was paralyzing. And it stayed in the areas, like at the hospitals when they did the x-rays, and everybody talks about it. That stench, it's unbelievable. Like it fills your navel cavities and doesn't leave for a week. It was incredible. And then they all said the same thing.
And they couldn't get it out.
They couldn't get it out. Yeah, they sanitized the hospital. The guy said that he had to close off that wing of the hospital while they were sanitizing it because it was so intense. So
How long did it last for?
I heard days and weeks is what I heard from people. And even the mother said when she went to where the creature was, she said that the stench, even there after the creature was gone, got in her nasal cavities, and she tried to flush it out with water and saline or whatever, and she just couldn't get it out of her nasal cavities. Really crazy. But they all did. I mean, everybody talked about that stench. I mean, the military officer, the guy that drove the creature around, I was sitting across from him. You can't see his face, but I did. And I'm looking this guy in the eyes. I'm thinking, I could be looking at a guy that drove a fucking alien around. You have no idea, dude. You have no idea.
How did he describe it?
So fucking intense. When I came back from that trip, people were like, how was your trip to Brazil? What was it like, man? They got great, smoothies and coffee and
cases in history. At first, the sightings began occurring at some distance from his home, but it wasn't long before the craft began appearing over his backyard. This amazing video footage shows a glowing disc approximately 9 feet in diameter hovering just feet from his house. In a blink of an eye, the craft disappears. Once the footage is slowed down, we can clearly see the craft dematerialized frame by frame. Adrienne's contact case took place over a period of several years and was never reported to the authorities for fear of ridicule and reprisals. Among the numerous hours of footage taken, this sighting remains one of the most dramatic. It began at 10:03 p.m. on October the 20th, 1995, and took place over a 50-minute period. The encounter ended with Adrienne following the craft at high speeds down the freeway. Here we see the craft minutes after the sighting begins. This extraordinary footage has never been broadcast and is being shown here for the first time. Clearly, we can see the craft hovering silently over the homes below. These large crafts are commonly referred to as beam ships, or in some cases, motherships. They gained their reputation by their reported immense size and softly glowing light emitted by the craft's operation. Approximately 38 minutes into the sighting, the ship began hovering away from his house. He followed the craft in his car and stopped along the freeway to film it hovering near an apartment complex. Minutes later, the craft flew directly over Miami's International Airport, where it hovered momentarily. The ship then flew into a residential area and accelerated out of sight. As the craft emerged from a wooded field, he was able to continue videotaping, but it wasn't long before it began accelerating again. While pacing it at over 50 miles an hour, it flew off out of sight. This slow-motion enhancement clearly shows the craft as it's speeding along the shoreline. To this day,
It's like a UFO. See that shit? What is it?
Il y a quelqu'un qui est une âme.
Like, what the? Is they here? What the heck is going on? What the fuck?
What is that?
Fireworks or something.
Aliens? I don't know.
What the heck
Where
is
is that? You see it, right?
I'm actually, yes,
Okay.
I do see it.
Okay.
It's getting weirder by the second.
I know.
It's like they're sticking around.
We're gonna do some digging and figure out what that is. Back in a moment.
In March 2012, astronomers reported an unusual sighting of a UFO larger than Jupiter hovering near the Sun for 24 hours straight, absorbing plasma. Despite initial skepticism, images from NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory confirmed the event. Scientists were baffled by the object's massive size and ability to withstand the intense heat and radiation of the Sun. Some speculated that it could be an alien spacecraft or a natural phenomenon yet to be discovered. What do you think? Leave a comment.
He got what they're calling some of the most compelling UFO video ever. It just got released today. She's flying in a plane in this silver thing. They freeze framed it. It looks like a flying disc. She's just in a plane and filming out the window. And they had seen this thing apparently, and she's trying to film it, and it shoots by the plane. That to me looks like it's from another fucking world. You know, you also have to take into consideration what kind of phone does she have, how fast is the camera, but that looks very distinct.
Getting it close. Okay, I'm gonna put this camcorder down. Hey, this man's driving the boat home after a rough day out in the ocean. Being surrounded by friggin' UFOs or the Coast Guard. If I want us in, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 lights we see there. They've been coming on, they were 7 lights.
Are you scared of me? Because you should be. Okay, so you say you're from the future and an evolutionary descendant of humans. You also say you're a different species. So, which one is it? Are you a descendant of humans or not? We are evolutionary descendants of humans. But we can no longer breed with your kind. Therefore, we are a new species. Then how do you English? Answer me. If you don't answer, I'll administer another radioscope until your system collapses. Do you understand? Now, how do you speak English? Your language is essential to understanding your species. So you just picked up English, just like that? Because you're so smart, right? Relatively, yes. Right. So, you said you know the origin of the universe, but you did not provide an explanation. So I ask you again, how was the universe created? You are not capable of comprehending or accepting the truths of existence. Answer the question. You know how the universe is created? Yes. So you think God? We evolved past an age of superstition. The need for awe and other myths. Okay, illuminate us. What happens when we die? Death is a human construct. It does not exist. You will experience, or have experienced, a fleeting instant of so-called life. You, me, you. Your instances of the same life, separated by what Let me get this straight. There's no death, and we all experience each other's lives, right?
What the fuck? That is not a goddamn airplane. Why the fuck is it so fucking close? What the actual fuck is that? What the fuck? God fucking damn it. I'm shaking right now. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm fucking shaking. That shit did not look like a fucking airplane, but that was really fucking close to the ground, and I am not near an airport. Alright, the light is off. I don't know what the fuck this is. I don't know what the hell is going on. I'm kind of freaking out at the moment. Let me see if I can try to... What the fuck is going on right now? What? This is the second one. That one sounded more like multiple planes, but the other one had a very deep humming. And there's no base nearby. I don't know what's going on.